What's up, everybody? It's your boy Mel here for another classic review. Today I'll be talking about my thoughts on the other Batman animated film, Batman and Harley Quinn. First premiered in San Diego Comic-Con on July 21st of 2017, and then was released in participating theaters for one night only on August 14th of that year. Then later released on digital on August 15th of 2017, and then on later home media the same month of the 29th of that year. And before we begin, did you subscribe? Did you hit the bell? If so, this will be the weirdest team up ever, but hey, it'll be enjoyable, ain't it? So yeah, Batman Harley Quinn, this is like, actually it's the first time after the success of Batman the Killing Joke. So yeah. Besides that, but first I'm gonna fall down here. But yeah. Let's focus more on this time a trio. The plot round. There's been a break-in at the Archgold Laboratory involving Poison Ivy and I forgot the name of this guy. Floronic Man, aka Jason Woodrow. Which of course they team up to steal some information from Star Labs. Which involving the experiments of Alec Holland, aka Swamp Thing. Which of course they're looking for the form, so they kidnap Dr. Goldblum, which I think he's called Goldblum. Yeah, Dr. Harold Goldblum, who's the only one who knows about the formula. Which of course the problem is they don't know where Poison or Floronic is, so they need Harley, which they haven't heard from her since she got paroled. And they have to split up finding her. But yeah, let's talk about the voice cast. We have the late great Kevin Conroy playing his role as Batman, Melissa Ranch as Harley Quinn, Lauren Lester as Dick Grayson, now known as Nightwing, Paget Brewster as Poison Ivy, Kevin Michael Richardson as the Floronic Man, aka Jason Woodrow. We have John DiMaggio as Sarge Steele, and also Swamp Thing. We have Eric Bowser as Weasley, Robin Acton Downs as Charles Rhino Daly, Trevor Duvall as Bobby Liebeltz, Rob Paulson as Dr. Harold Goldblum and Men in Max. If you don't know those two, those are Two Faces duos, I think, henchmen. We have Mindy Sterling as Project Supervisor, and Bruce Timm as Booster Gold, aka Michael J. Carter, uncredited. As for the production, it was directed by Sam Liu, who directed prior DC animated films. The film is an original story written by Bruce Timm, partnered with James Krieg. Kevin Conroy voices Batman, and Lauren Lester as Nightwing, both whom voice those same roles in Batman the Animated Series and in the new Batman Adventures. It is designed in the classic style similar to the new Batman Adventures, with Bruce Timm stating that the film is essentially a 48 hours style antics version of Batman and Harley Quinn teaming up. Notably, the film is much more comedic than the original series, with co-writer Jim Krieg stating, "This is a kind of strange, red-headed nephew of Batman the Animated Series, but don't show it to your kids thinking that it's Batman the Animated Series. It has its own thing, kind of extrapolated." The score was composed by Michael Mikulishin, Christopher Carter, and Lolita Randomus, which was released on CD by Watertower Records as exclusive with Five. The animation was outsourced by DR Movie in South Korea. There's a tie-in in the media on July 31st. 5-issue prequel miniseries called Harley Quinn and Batman was released on a bi-weekly basis by digital download, written by Ty Templeton and drawn by Rick Burchett. The plot follows Harley as she looks to separate herself from the Joker and become a full-fledged supervillain in her own right. Afterwards, 7 issues miniseries, which shares the same title of the film, was released a weekly basis, also by digital download. Starting on October 21st, this serves as an anthology series that takes place after the events of the film and was worked by various writers. Both miniseries were collected into a trade paperback, which was released on March 7th of 2019. The publications, which I think the first one was hardcover, which was released on July 3rd of 2018, and then paperback on June 3rd of 2019. As for release dates, due to the financial success of The Killing Joke, the film was released in theaters for one night only through Fathom Events in the United States on August 14th of 2017. A week later, a combo set with a Blu-ray copy, a DVD copy, and a digital copy was released. Batman Harley Quinn's theatrical release grossed up to $32,000 in Australia and $6,000 in the Netherlands, bringing an international total of $39,000. The film earned $971,000 from domestic DVD sales and $1.1 million from domestic Blu-ray sales, bringing a total domestic home video earnings to $2.1 million. As for receptions, let's just say a bit mixed. The film received praise for the voice performance of Conroy and Lester and throws back to the past Batman media, but was criticized for the script, tone, and more adult humor and risque content. On Rotten Tomatoes, the film has an approval rating of 50% on 12 reviews and an average rating of 5.8 out of 10. Collider criticized the film's inconsistent tone, as well as its lack of resolution. Tyler Smith of Battleship Pretension criticized the more explicit sexual elements writing, as Batman Harley Quinn attempts to incorporate more explicit sexuality, what could be considered adult content, into the story. The film takes the tone of a couple of 13-year-old constantly high-fiving each other as they take turns writing risque Harley Quinn fanfics. I'm not exactly sure what the filmmakers were trying to achieve by treating the audience to gradually obscure shots of Harley, but it certainly was an attempt to make her a more well-rounded character. In fact, it's actually pretty dehumanizing. IGN reviews the film more positive, citing the throwback elements, aesthetic, and fight choreography, but commented that the film is self-indulgent in the humor and unbalance between comedy and drama. As for the plot, you got a lot of weird plots here. Okay, Batman and Nightwing split up. That's when Nightwing spotted Harley in a diner. It's kind of like a super women. This is like a Hooters version of DC. You got the hero femmes and the villainous women as well. So Harley's working there as a waitress, and remember, that's the only thing she can get a job, since no one hire her due to her criminal background. Of course, Nightwing follows her as she leaves. Which, yeah, we did take a glimpse of some pervert trying to grab her ass until she breaks it off. Literally, we just get a glimpse of her bending over and see her ass. And he tried to grab her, but nope. He tried to blame her, but of course there was a rule: no touching. There's the rules, pervert. Of course, Nightwing follows her, and he tries to convince her, which of course a fight ensues until Harley used some Joker gas, which she says at least that's something from that idiot, and takes her back to her place, which is abandoned apartments that have been foreclosed, so she lives there. Of course, she has Nightwing tied up to the bed. Like, literally has both his arms and legs tied up, like strapped tight. Well, she talks to Nightwing. She's in her underwear and bra, literally bending over, and Nightwing's like, whoop. While she's talking about she can't even get a job because the letters going one is an execution date in Thailand. That's when she mentions used to be Robin. All grown up. Until she puts this sinister smile and he says, okay, let's just calm down. Let's don't do any funny business. And she says, too late. Lights off. And she says, that's weird. I thought you and Batman don't like women. And she slowly crawls on the bed on top of him. Right there. And she tells him, if you be good, maybe Mama will give you a cookie. And Nightwing says, the things I do for Gotham. And they cuts right there. As for Batman, he's looking for him. He has a tracker on him. He falls into where the apartment is. That's when he hears the commotion. Until he realizes they're just having a tickle fight. Literally, he just opens the door. He sees Nightwing tickling Harley Quinn. Both having a tickle fight. Well, Nightwing started explaining what's going on. Until Batman looks around. Yeah, he sees the rope, the clothes. Like, yeah. Of course, Nightwing just doubled down and say, at least you made it with a supervillain. Yeah, Catwoman. Of course, we ran to Poison Ivy with Jason Woodrow, which they're trying to recreate the formula that Dr. Holland, aka Swamp Thing, did, that turned into him, turning people into plants, plant hybrids, which of course Dr. Goldblum, under the hypnosis of Poison Ivy, after she keeps kissing him, she has the power to control people's minds and do her bidding. The problem is, due to the experiments keep failing because they need the original waters where the Swamp Thing was born. As in the original swamp, because the type of water, it needs to be the type of chemical which just when Holland became Swamp Thing, the same swamp, so they have to go there. Unfortunately, Batman arrives along with Nightwing and Harley, fight ensues, and Woodrow kills Goldblum until he explains to Harley what happened. Of course, the three head for Louisiana to stop Poison Ivy and Woodrow. Of course, they split up. Batman, Nightwing to Woodrow and Harley, and Poison Ivy had a fight as well. That's when they're all tied up. I think Woodrow knocks. That's when Ivy was hesitant, and she gets knocked out by Woodrow as he tries to attempt to do the experiment. All of a sudden, everything went quiet, and guess who shows up? Swamp Thing. And oh boy, they were waiting, and Swamp Thing is gigantic. When everybody sees Swamp Thing rising out of the swamps of Louisiana like some god. Literally. And yes, he starts to condemn Jason Woodrow for his sins. Which, of course, he was scared. And I think Nightwing was waiting for Woodrow to get his comeuppance until he mentions he must return back to Mother Gaia in search of the green. Which, of course, he went back in the swamp. And Woodrow was like, what the hell? I'm gonna dig over. That's when the three of them start to figure out what's going on. Until Harley had a good idea. He's all leafy. And that's when all during click say, anyone have a match? Which, of course, they pulled a match. But before that, Batman and Nightwing give Harley a kiss in the cheek and say, oh gosh. Oh yeah, I forgot there was a sidetrack where they went to a motorcycle bar for supervillain sidekicks, which we got a bunch of across a bunch of characters from both the animated series and the new Batman Adventures. Like Captain Clowney, the one from that was with the Joker, one of Mr. Freeze's goons, including the twins from Two-Face, who were singing the song "Don't Hug Your Love Me." Well, Harlan's looking for information with Shrubs, who was a former goon of Poison Ivy. Back to this, we do cut the credits, and we see Jason Woodrue on fire, which is actually pretty funny. So, we do have an ending credit where we see Harley finally has a job as a psychiatrist. Now, her own reality game show called Ask Dr. Quincell, which it's like a spoof of Dr. Phil, literally, but this is more like her therapies as an obstacle course, of course, which is discovering an indictment of the American insurance system. And Batman Friends is Batman Harley Quinn. I find it funny. I kind of like it. They got me. They also. I know people. I think the one Chris thing is not like me to dehumanize it, but seriously, at least give her more personality, both brains and beauty. Hmm. And kind of like the gag we use more of Nightwing. Now he's no longer the boy wonder, as Harley put it out. But yeah, those are for today. And if you've seen the movie, if you're one of the lucky ones who saw that at San Diego Comic-Con, comment down below. How was your experience over there? But until then, if you're new to the channel, remember to subscribe, like, hit the bell, comment down below. And remember, our goal is to hit 1 million subscribers, or at least 500k. Because of May of this year is our 11th anniversary of the channel, from 2013 to 2023. So let's do this. Until then, see you next week. Peace out.